Through their deep understanding of human behavior, it may be assumed that most INFJs have an easy time forgiving others. By often choosing to simply live and let live, some may think that the INFJ type holds the emotional maturity to let go of any residual resentment and bitterness towards those who have done them wrong. But that's not always the case. Welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it. Starting with number 1. They feel foolish and naive. First and foremost, when someone does the INFJ wrong, it becomes a personal problem. Despite the unforgivable actions, INFJs understand that they can't control other people or make them see things from their level. And so, instead of pointing the finger and playing the blame game, an INFJ's grudge is usually rooted in the fact that they can't forgive themselves for not predicting someone's negative behavior before it became a reality. One of the most difficult things to get over in times of conflict is the pattern of foreshadowing actions that file through the INFJ's conscience. In fact, every time something goes wrong in an INFJ's life, they can't help but to sit back and mentally observe the past memories and events that led up to the catastrophe. So, when it comes to being done wrong by others, it's in the INFJ's self-disappointment that most of their resentment comes from. It's almost as if they're more upset that someone could get past their keen observation skills without being noticed, rather than the hurtful action they experienced. Number 2. Most negative experiences are burned in their psyche. From a logical standpoint, INFJs have the knowledge and maturity it requires to forgive and forget. However, on the inside, where their guarded emotions are kept, negative experiences tend to secretly linger for far more time than they'd like to admit. No matter the extent their logical minds are begging them to move on, and despite how much it seems as if they've moved on from a painful past experience, an INFJ's heart takes much longer to let things go. Being the sensitive soul they are, things affect them on a grander scale with a longer-lasting, lingering impact. Whether this is because they are so quick to give others the benefit of the doubt, or the fact that they can't relate to others' undeserving evil ways, once an INFJ's protected vulnerability is broken, it takes a long time to mend. And even once fixed, a trauma-torn INFJ is never the same. While on one end of the spectrum, this damage dulls an INFJ's shine temporarily, it also allows for the INFJ to effectively learn from their lessons and may even encourage them to practice their much-needed boundary setting skills, which brings us to our next point. Number 3. Grudges help the INFJ learn a lesson. INFJs are known for giving second, third, and fourth chances against those who usually didn't deserve the first chance at all. Due to the combination of introverted intuition and extroverted feeling, the INFJ feels compelled to apply their empathetic approach to those who need it most. Unfortunately, the people who require an INFJ's empathy are usually the ones that have deep-rooted issues of their own. Issues so difficult to deal with that they can't help but to project their pain onto those who desperately want to help them. This projected pain serves as a foundation to some of the most hostile and cruel actions that the INFJ is so often the victim of. And so, while it usually takes more than one wrongdoing to send this forgiving type into true resentment, sometimes it's within that resentment that they're able to finally learn a lesson. Without a subtle grudge-holding energy, INFJs may take the appropriate action of protecting their empathy. And in return, others learn the important lesson of what happens when they don't take into account the damage done by their hurtful behavior. Number 4. They can only truly forgive people who understand both sides of the story. Now, despite the importance of holding some sort of underlying resentment, there is in fact one antidote to the painful grudges the INFJs are known to hold towards those who have done them dirty. INFJs are only able to truly let go of a painful grudge if the other person is able to prove that they can see both sides of the argument. There's nothing worse for the INFJ type who so desperately wants to avoid conflict than someone who thrives on stubbornly trying to prove themselves right. Whether it's through gaslighting, minimizing the hurt their actions have caused, or pointing the blame to take the pressure off themselves. Those who aren't willing to get on the INFJ's level are most deserving of resentment in the INFJ's book. On the other hand, someone who can maturely take accountability for their actions while thoroughly listening to an INFJ's in-depth reasoning behind their pain is easily forgiven with no strings attached. Even if the INFJ decides to walk away, it's in this validation that they can genuinely feel at peace. Number 5. They don't take constructive criticism well. Most INFJs would hate to admit it, but deep down inside, certain criticisms can really hit home. Self-critical and perfectionistic, certain critical comments can cause them to hold a deep-rooted grudge that they're not proud of. Despite being said in a humorous manner or being expressed by someone they love, there's something within every INFJ that causes them to ruminate about even the most light-hearted comments about themselves. Whether it's surrounding their performance, their capabilities, their hobbies, projects, or even their looks, their underlying insecurities make it extremely difficult for them to get over what someone has said to them. In fact, despite playing it cool, laughing it off, and continuing a connection with the individual, they will always associate that person with triggering their already existing self-doubt. They may even become more conscious of how they do certain things around that person due to feeling judged, despite knowing how silly their approach to the situation is. Number 6. They can't unsee what they saw. Some call it grudges. INFJs call it seeing who people really are and not unseeing it. Unlike the shameful grudges they hold from those who criticize them, sometimes INFJs hold grudges for all the right reasons. Similar to the effectiveness that comes from the underlying resentment related to someone continuously doing them wrong, INFJs can't help but to hold certain grudges when witnessing particular people's true character. They have a strong moral compass and an even stronger ability to sniff out others' ill intentions, making it difficult for them to turn a blind eye to what they know is an act of immorality. Yet, with a hesitancy to make any sudden judgments on the assumptions of others, INFJs wait until they've seen with their own eyes just how toxic someone is. Despite believing in giving others the benefit of the doubt, there are certain character traits, gestures, and actions that go beyond a simple slip in emotional regulation. Whether it's a new date being incredibly rude to the waiter, a family member disrespecting another family member, or a stranger with a swollen ego, once an INFJ has seen what they've seen, there's no unseeing it. And lastly, number 7, their envy gets the best of them. Ask any INFJ if they're an envious person, and most of them would agree that they're not. However, anyone who lived through childhood and adolescent years feeling confused as to why they can't be more like everyone else is more likely to have some form of resentment with others as they grow older. Although it may not be totally apparent to the INFJ themselves through their conscious thought processes, this personality type who has such high expectations for themselves may actually hold underlying grudges to those who have achieved what they desire. Despite using others' accomplishments as their driving motivation, some INFJs can't bring themselves to be unconditionally happy for people who seem to have it easier than them. Regardless of how much their logical brains know that everyone is fighting their own battles, and most people's lives aren't as picture perfect as they seem from the outside looking in, it doesn't change their inner insecurities. Whether it's in relation to romance, career, finances, children, looks, or social life, there's something in every INFJ that sparks a slight bitter jealousy that is difficult to shake. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, let us know in the comments below if you yourself hold grudges that you're not proud of as an INFJ. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.